Hello, YouTube friends. Gail's here. It's been a while, huh? Almost a year, I think, since I made a video. It feels like it anyway. Yeah, as usual, I've just been busy and working on my own projects. Unfortunately, I don't think I played very many visual novels last year, so it's definitely something that I would like to do more of this year. It's one of my New Year's resolutions is to play more visual novels because, yeah, I've been slacking. I'm gonna start with, for recording anyway, visual novels that I've downloaded who knows how long ago, and they've just been sitting on in my files for who knows how long. Like this one, My Path. I did look it up on itch.io, which is where I download all these visual novels from, in case you weren't aware. It was made in 2022, so it's a few years old, but it looks very cute, very cool. I did check to make sure, just to make sure I didn't just forget. You know, I did check no save files, no CGs unlocked. So yeah, I haven't played this one before. Because I don't remember where I found it or how long ago I downloaded it. It's just something I randomly found that I didn't know I had. Looks very cute. Already like the character designs, I can tell. They look very clean and polished. And very nice. Nice art style. I like the little logo here. GUI looks very clean. Very nice. It looks very girly. Girly, but like there's also a sword and a book, so girly but adventurous. And obviously it's an otome, or, you know, otome-like. So I'm expecting a little bit of romance. A little bit of adventure, maybe. Alright. Over the last few months, our world has been facing a horrible crisis. A mysterious disease spread and claimed countless victims within a few months. Most people who got infected died within a few days. But some began to lose consciousness and became violent, attacking anyone around them. Months have passed since the first cause of the disease, but no one could find a cure. The number of deaths was growing every day, and the infected who turned violent were starting to get completely out of control. Entire cities and towns had to be evacuated to keep the population safe from the sudden attacks. To try and find a solution to this crisis, two groups were organized. The field unit, created by soldiers and researchers, aimed to collect samples and contain the advance of the violent infected, keeping people safe. And the research centers, organized with soldiers and alchemists, were tasked with the development of a cure to end this crisis once and for all. Both groups are accepting volunteers with a variety of abilities that are willing to do whatever it takes to help. With everything that's going on, I couldn't stand still. I want to do something to help. I just need to decide which group I should join. Oh, so we get to choose. Okay, cool. Oh, and this maybe choose the route of the characters too. Okay. Cool. I don't really know much about them other than what they said about the lore, so I don't know which character I'm gonna like if that's what I'm choosing. Based on what I've heard, I think I'm more interested in the field unit. I'm expecting that to be a little more action-y, maybe? But I don't know. Who knows? I could be wrong. Let's see. You will use all your abilities to collect samples and help the soldiers. Be prepared to spend weeks in a camp settled near a forest. Ooh, I do like forests. That's nice. Or this one. You will use your abilities to assist in the research to find a cure. Be prepared for long hours in the library and the laboratory. Laboratory. I don't know. Potato. I do like libraries. That's cool. But I think I like forests more. So more outdoorsy. My decision was to join the field unit. So our name is Anna. Okay, cool. I packed my things, and then the next day I left for the place where the unit was installed. So I'm assuming this is one of those things where parentheses means thought, which is fine as long as it's consistent. As soon as I arrived, I tried to find someone to give me directions, but the place looked a bit messy. Let's be the judge of that. I don't think it looks too messy. It looks pretty Pretty cool. Pretty neat. Nice. Nice background. I like it. Okay. The field unit was set up in a wide place where there were tall tents all around and people running between them carrying supplies. There were no signs and the tents all looked the same. I had no idea where to go. I started walking around the place hoping to find the person in charge of the field unit, but I had no luck. Hey, what are you doing standing there? They need help in the hospital tent. Hospital tent? I don't know where that is. I just got here. Oh, wait. You must be one of the volunteers who came to help us. Sorry. I thought you were someone else. Come with me. I'll show you around the camp and find you a place to stay. The boy started walking between the tents, and I had no choice but to follow him. He walked easily around the place, stopping every now and then to talk someone to shout instructions to anyone passing by. What exactly do you do? I think he's younger than what I don't know. I'm not good at voices, so you all know this. I know this. It's all good. I'm a researcher, but I have several training in several things. I know the basics of alchemy, herbalism, and aid, etc. That's great. We need a lot of help around here. Your skills will be really useful. My name is Reno. I do a little bit of everything here. I try to help as best I can. I noticed he looked too young to be in this place. They like to use exclamation points, don't they? The field unit was organized to contain the infected, preventing them from approaching the cities. And also to ensure that you researchers can take samples and analyze their behavior at this stage of the disease. We have groups of soldiers that patrol the area all the time and eliminate any infected that try to get through here. We are in a strategic location. If we can stop the infected from passing through this point, we can keep the capital and surrounding cities safe. He was definitely referring to the infected who turned violent and got out of control. It's really sad that things have come to this. Is there really no way to save them? Unfortunately not. Those who get into the state of the disease lose consciousness and become very aggressive. They attack anything that comes in front of them. That's why we can't let them reach the cities. Can you imagine the chaos that would be? Luckily, they don't transmit the disease when they become violent. Otherwise, we'd be screwed. Our job here is not easy, and we've been struggling in the past weeks. What happened? There are a lot of... He had no time to answer me as we were surprised by a cat that jumped from the middle of the tents. Get out of the way. There are injured people needing to pass. The cat just talked. Was that the cat? Was her name Katrina? That's cute. Okay. Just behind her came a group of people carrying someone who looked pretty hurt. Reno, get a nurse over here quickly. This guy's not doing well. Damn, what happened this time? Same thing that's been going on all week. Now hurry up and get a nurse to see him. It will be hard to find someone available right now. The hospital is full and most of the nurses and doctors are busy. The guy they brought in had deep wounds and was losing a lot of blood. Someone needs to take care of it right away or it could be too late. I'm no expert, but with the basic knowledge I have, maybe I can help. For help or just watch. I don't know. We're here to help, aren't we? I think I can help. At least I can try to stop the bleeding until a nurse can come here. That would be great. Is there anything I can do to help? Help me to put pressure on the wound. It looks like he's already lost a lot of blood. If you can take care of things here, I'm going to the hospital tent. I'll try to find a nurse to take care of him. Talking animals must be a common thing because nobody's commenting on the talking cat thing. So I guess that's common knowledge that some animals can talk. Reno helped me hold the injured guy while the cat ran between the tents to find help. Treating him there didn't seem like the best option, but it was the best I could do. I wasted no time and got to work. Yeah, it's definitely reading like narration, not thought like I initially thought. So, interesting. Okay. The wound looked really bad, but luckily it was possible to stop the bleeding without too much trouble. I only did the basic procedure I had learned, but it should be enough until a professional could take care of it. Thank you so much for helping. I don't have much experience with first aid. I'm glad you're here. I can't really hear the music. I might have turned it down too low, so I'm sorry if you can't hear the music either. Maybe you guys can hear it better than I can. But anyway, I tried to look calm, but I was a bit shocked to find someone in this state as soon as I arrived. How did he get a wound like this? Probably trying to take down an infected. I looked at him, worried. I didn't imagine that an infected could cause so much damage. I wasn't kidding when they said they were pretty aggressive. Some might even kill you if you are not prepared. Things are pretty bad around here. More infected people are showing up, and I have a feeling they're getting worse as time goes on. I found help. It's that guy over there. Please help him. The cat returned, followed by a nurse who took care of the injured guy properly. Thanks, Katrina. I'm glad you found someone so quickly. It wasn't easy. The situation is not going well at the hospital. At least he's receiving proper help. He's in good hands now. Come with me. I'll keep showing you around the camp now. Reno gestured for me to follow him and started to walk towards the tents, leaving the guy in the care of the nurse and the cat. He explained to me about the location of everything in the camp. I was a bit shocked about how naturally he resumed our tour after what had just happened, as if finding seriously injured people were just part of the routine. Lastly, Reno took me to the biggest tent that had been set up. Apparently, it served as a hospital and had a separate wing for a makeshift laboratory. Are you trying to treat the infected here? No, there's still no treatment for this disease. The hospital is used to treat soldiers injured during patrols or attacked by the infected. That guy won't be the last injured soldier you'll see here. In fact, as I walked around the tent, I saw that several of the beds were occupied. Doctors and nurses were running around to tend the injured soldiers. I'm not going to lie. The work here is probably going to be a lot different than what you've imagined. Too many soldiers are being attacked lately, and we don't have enough doctors to take care of them all. But luckily, most of the researchers have other skills and help as they can. It's been quite normal to see them tending to the wounded, preparing medicine and bandages. You said you have a lot of skills? I hope you can help us. Of course, yeah, that's what I'm here for, right? Here to help. Thanks, it's nice to have people around. Like you around, sorry. I still don't know your name. It's Anna. Welcome, Anna. Right back there is the lab. You'll find some researchers there and can talk with them about the daily tasks. I need to go now and take care of things at the camp, but if you need anything, just look for me. He left the tent while I headed back to where the lab should be. The place wasn't big, but it had all the necessary equipment. I was able to talk to some of the researchers there, but what they told me was very similar to what Reno said. There were daily tasks to be done in the lab, but most researchers split their time so they could help in other ways, especially in the hospital caring for the wounded. And as the day went on, I started to understand how much help they actually needed. During the next few hours, several other injured people were brought to the hospital tent. The doctors and nurses could barely take care of everyone, so we went there to help. We took care of small things like getting medicine and preparing bandages, but even that was a great help and gave the doctors more time to focus on the serious patients. I was quite worried about the situation there. The doctors were clearly overwhelmed. I don't know how long they would hold on if things continued like this. I ended up spending the whole day helping at the hospital, and even when night fell, I stayed there to organize some things. I couldn't stop thinking about everything I saw during the day. I never imagined things were so bad outside the city walls. I was lost in my thoughts when I noticed someone entering the tent. As soon as I crossed to the other wing, I saw that there was a tall man taking some things from the first aid kit. Another guy voice, okay. Don't worry about me. You can go on with your tasks. I noticed he had a really bad cut on his arm. Let me help with that. It's okay. It's just a scratch. The cut was clearly more than a scratch. I ignored him and walked over to take a closer look. Damn. We're running out of supplies again. I need to ask the research centers to send more stuff quickly. He kept checking the shelves with medical supplies, but didn't complain when I touched his arm. It's a pretty big cut, but I don't think you'll need stitches. Just a band-aid should be enough. For the first time, he stopped what he was doing to pay attention to me. I don't remember having such a beautiful nurse working here. Is this your first day? I'm not a nurse. I'm a researcher. I'm not sure how I ended up here in the hospital. Things were so chaotic when I arrived that I tried to help the doctors. Things are always chaotic around here, sweetie. Oh gosh, did I pick the flirty type? Great. I just ignored the sweetie and kept talking. I was worried when I saw how many injured people arrived today. Is this normal? Unfortunately, it's becoming normal. We know very little about this disease, but apparently the infected who turn violent only to get worse over time. We didn't have such a hard time to put them down a few months ago, but they're becoming a problem. I shuddered when he used the words, put them down. I know there is no other way to deal with them, but it was horrible to think that these were the people who had succumbed to the disease and now had to be eliminated. What's wrong? Don't you like the idea of put them down? If that's the case, you shouldn't have come here. You haven't seen anything yet. I understand that, but it's horrible to think that we've reached this point. It's not an easy job, but it needs to be done. I started to take care of the injury on his arm and remember something that had been bothering me since I arrived. Where is the person in charge of the field unit? I haven't met him yet, but I thought he would be taking care of everything here. Maybe he's busy with more important things. What could be more important than keep this place organized? Reno seems to be the only one here trying to keep things in order, but he's just a kid. Things aren't that bad. If every day is the same as today, then it's bad. You just arrived and are already complaining? I'm just really worried about the situation here. The work here is not easy, and we are not always able to control everything that happens. The fact that the infected became stronger and more aggressive over time was a nice surprise for us. The amount of unexpected attacks and injuries has increased a lot in the last few weeks, but we don't have enough doctors or supplies to deal with it. I understand that things don't go as planned sometimes, but isn't there a better way to organize things here? Okay, what do you think we can do to improve? I need time to think. You're gonna have an adult helping Reno, or I don't know. Yeah, there shouldn't be just a kid. Child labor, man, come on. Child labor is bad. He didn't say anything, but I saw he was a little uncomfortable with my comment. I decided to not insist on this matter and kept working on bandaging his arm. We were silent for a moment until the cat who had appeared earlier entered the tent. Master, you're finally back. Master? Hi, Katrina. How is everything going? Terrible. You shouldn't stay away for so long. Wait, you are... Master Kalian, in charge of the field unit. Nice to meet you. Are you the one in charge? Why didn't you say anything? It's way more fun to talk to people when they don't know who I am. Thanks for the bandages. Come, Katrina, tell me the news. He left the tent, followed by the cat. Well, at least now I know who's in charge of this place. I finished organizing my things and went to the tent that was set up for me. After such a busy day, I was able to take a well-deserved rest. So how did she sign up if she didn't know, like, where she was going, where she was supposed to go, or who she was supposed to talk to? It sounds like she was very poorly informed when she signed up for this. Just saying. And the next morning, I was able to start my work with a research group. Our task was to complete samples, analyze, and send them to the research centers that are trying to develop a cure for the disease. These samples were thin layers of skin that had been collected from the infected. I couldn't help the shiver that ran down my spine every time I remembered where they came from, and that someone had to collect them. At first, I imagined that this would be the only work I would do there, but the field unit was going through a very difficult situation, and I often found myself helping with other things. In the next days, the number of wounded soldiers increased considerably, and there were not enough doctors and nurses. As the lab and hospital shared the same tent, it was impossible to ignore the cries for help whenever a group of soldiers arrived, and none of us had the courage to refuse. And with that, I ended up spending a lot more time in the hospital than in the lab. We helped carry the patients, bandage, and give medicine. It wasn't much, but any help was welcome. Thanks, Anna. I don't know what we would do if you guys were not here to help. Sorry to interrupt your work all the time. It's okay. Could you please get more bandage for me? I'll need more to treat this wound. We don't have any more. What do you mean? Our supplies are running low. We are trying to control even the medicines to last the research centers send more. Master Kalian has already sent a message asking for more, but they are taking too long to deliver. We have used too much in the last few weeks. I don't think they were ready to ship some more so quickly. By the way, I haven't seen Master Kalian in the last few days. Where is he? He's busy with other things. Oops. Well, might as well save since I accidentally right-clicked. What exactly does he do? I thought managing things here was his job. He's usually pretty busy organizing the soldiers and patrolling the surrounding areas. Master Kalian never explains to me when he goes when he decides to leave the camp for so many days. That makes me really worried. So he just disappear and leave you to take care of everything. It's not like that. Master Kalian does everything he can to make sure the camp is safe. He just doesn't explain his plans very well. I see. I wish I could keep talking to him, but the work at the hospital was intense. I did my best to attend to minor injuries so the doctors could focus on the serious patients. Reno tried to organize everything and make sure everyone received treatment as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, I couldn't help everyone who arrived. Anna, 2 soldiers have just arrived, and they're really bad. Both of them have scratches and bruises all over their bodies. Probably broken ribs, too. Reno, I don't have enough knowledge to treat things like this. These 2 need to see a doctor immediately. I'll see if I can find someone available. Can you take care of them for now? I found a place for the 2 of them to stay while they waited, and that was all I could do at the moment. With injuries so serious and our supplies running low, I started to get really worried. Oh, that's not good. I got startled when I saw the cat next to me. I didn't even notice her approaching. I never imagined that the infected could be so dangerous. It looks like these 2 fought a bear. It wasn't like this in the beginning. They didn't give us too much trouble a few months ago. When all this started, the infected were like drunk men in a fight. They were violent, but clumsy. Who's Tessa? The soldiers had no problem dealing with them. Now they are different. They are no... Who's Tessa? I'm so confused. Maybe that was just a... Maybe it's supposed to be Katrina and somebody just used the wrong code name. Now they are different. They are no longer clumsy and their attacks are way more aggressive. But why do they attack? We don't know. They just lose consciousness when they get into this stage of disease and destroy everything they find. Soldiers on patrol constantly find the carcass of brutally murdered animals. They don't eat anything. They just kill. This is horrible. I can't even imagine what would happen if they reached the cities. After a few minutes, Reno came back, bringing a doctor to take care of the soldiers. He started treating both of them right away and asked Reno to find some medicine. I'll see what I can find. Damn, I just remembered we don't have any more bandages. I'll find a solution for this. Perhaps I can get some clean sheets to cut them out and make new bandages. He left in a hurry, and again I had the feeling that he was the one taking care of everything around here. I started to feel a lot of anger and frustration. Nothing there worked as it should. I constantly had to leave my tasks to help at the hospital, and we didn't even have the basic supplies. How long would we hold out if things continued like this? Yeah, it's just very poorly organized, not efficient at all. It was a hopeless situation. I couldn't stop thinking that more bad things were to come. I was drowning in negative thoughts and had a hard time to find a solution for all this. This place sucks. I should leave. Oh, that's great. I'm not strong enough to face all this. Take a deep breath and calm down. Yeah, I'm gonna do the obviously. I'm trying to be serious, so I'm not gonna do the funny. Those are funny options, though. I like it. I tried to control the wave of thoughts that invaded me by taking a few deep breaths. Fall into despair won't help. And holding on to these negative feelings will help even less. I can't do miracles, but I'll do everything in my power to help these people. I noticed that the cat was looking at me with a curious look, and I had the impression she was smiling. We're lucky to have people like you helping us. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, we're definitely more support than what I thought when I, chose the field unit, which is okay. I mean, to me, it's not as interesting because it feels like most of the action and stuff is we're getting secondhand instead of being in the middle of the action ourselves. So to me, it's just not as interesting as it could be. Like, it's interesting lore, don't get me wrong. It's just the execution of it, the tell versus show of it. We're getting a lot more tell than show what I would like. If you wanted to show it, she would be out there, on the field fighting the infected. To me, that just sounds way more cooler than, running errands and stuff. But it's not bad. It's not bad. We'll continue. And it's still pretty early, I feel. So there's still a chance we could get some action or something to spice it up a little bit. Without having much choice, I took a deep breath and kept doing my job. The day went on quite hectic. I helped Reno to make more bandages with sheets, and then I was able to go back to the lab to finish my work. It breaks my heart to think of Reno, so young and dealing with such difficult things. It was late at night when I was able to return to my tent and rest. Unlike the chaos that was during the day, the night was peaceful and silent. I enjoyed the walk, feeling the cold air on my face. I've been here for just a few days, but I was already feeling drained. Did I make the wrong choice coming here? I stared at the night sky, a bit distracted, and was surprised by the stars. I spent most of my life living in cities, and with the constant lights, it's hard to see the stars. But here, in a place so far away and dark, it was possible to see an infinity of small points shining in the sky. Yeah, see, like, this would be a great place for, like, a cutscene where you could actually see the stars, so we could see what she's seeing. But instead, she's just telling us about the stars. So, stuff like that could have been shown better. Anyway, I don't know for how long I stayed there. Just looking at that starry sky, I probably would have stayed longer if I hadn't heard footsteps approaching. And, maybe it's just like, I don't know if it was for a jam, maybe they ran out of time, or maybe they just didn't feel like adding in the extra art. Maybe they were paying somebody to make the art and they ran out of money. There's a number of reasons of why they don't have more CGs and stuff in this. But I'm just saying, that's just something that I would have done differently. Just a little note. But so, I am enjoying it so far. It's still interesting stuff. The characters are interesting, and the story somewhat interesting. It's just the execution of it, I think, could have been. I want more. Let's put it that way. They're beautiful, aren't they? The stars. They surely are. I never saw the stars like this. You can't see so many in the city. I never really like cities. There are too many people and too much noise. I have a cabin in the mountains. Whenever I'm not working, I like to spend time there alone. The best part is being able to see the starry sky every night. I really wish I was there right now. This comment surprised me a bit. He didn't seem like the stargazing kind of guy. Or the loner kind of guy. I thought he was going to be the flirty type that, you know, like, is always, like, hitting on women and stuff. Because, I mean, he was literally flirting with her when they just met. So I just assumed that was his type. But maybe he's not. Maybe he's more of an introvert. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. He was just standing there, lost in thoughts, watching the night sky. The first time I met him, he seemed like a very direct person, sharp-tongued and ready to fight back anything I said. Looking at him now, so lost in his own thoughts, I started to wonder if I hadn't judged him too quickly. He seemed a little uncomfortable when he noticed I was looking, and quickly changed his attitude. Actually, I don't like being there alone. It's better when I have company. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Nope. Okay, I take it back. Nope. He's definitely the flirty type. Come on, dude. You were nicer when you were being more sweet and sincere, and now you're just... Why you gotta do this? Why? Preferably pretty girls who also like to look at the stars. See, this is the point where I'd just walk away. He winked at me and I rolled my eyes. Exactly. We don't take that. We don't appreciate that. In that moment, I forgot all the tranquility I was feeling a while ago and remembered the chaos of our daily routine. Where have you been the last few days? Here and there, taking care of things. Don't you think you should spend more time here? There's not much more I can do here. There are plenty of things you can do. This place needs someone to organize everything. Yeah, this is why you delegate, you know? You put somebody else in charge, say, hey, you're going to be in charge of managing this, you're going to be in charge of managing that, and if you can't handle everything yourself as a leader, you need to delegate your tasks to somebody who can, who's more competent, who's more organized than you are. This is what a leader needs to do, but maybe that's a lesson he's going to learn later on, but that's what I'm hoping to see anyway, because he definitely needs somebody to tell him how to do his job. That's for sure. I don't know if I read that. Sorry. I got into my ranting bit. The organizing talk again. Don't you get tired of it? It's your job. Yes, I get tired of the chaos we live every day. Then why don't you stop complaining and do something? She's telling you to do something. Do something? Did he want me to do something? He's like, I just got here. Dude, please. Apparently spending all day doing my job and dozens of other tasks to help wasn't enough. Exactly, tell him off. How could he say such a thing? I was trying to control myself, but it was really hard. Oh yeah, I don't blame you. I'd be mad too. I was trying to control myself, but it was really... Oh. Should we yell at him or keep calm? No, I you know what? Screw it. At this point, okay, I'm going to save because, you know, I don't know. Maybe we're going to die or maybe he's going to kill us with a sword or something, but I'm going to yell at him. Dang it. You are irresponsible. How can you just disappear and expect others to do all the work for you? What the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about everything we've been through here while you're gone. He looked at me angrily and then shook his head. I'm not going to spend the night here arguing with you. You're not even here to see what we go through day after day. Don't talk about things that you don't know. What don't I know? I'm tired of this. Stop bothering me. Take care of your work and stop telling me how I should do mine. I glared at him, but I could only see anguish in the eyes that stared back at me. Now that I was paying attention, he looked terrible. His clothes were quite dirty, and he looked very tired. Where was he these last few days? What was he doing? I mean, I'm sure he's out there fighting. He's got blood all over his clothes. I mean, it's quite obvious what he's doing, but he's not delegating to anyone, and that's the problem. It's that he's not taking responsibility. You know, he's just out there doing his own, focusing on what he's doing and not what everyone else should be doing, which is what a leader needs to do. You know. Just saying. What happened with you? That's none of your business. Could you... He stopped talking, and I noticed he was staring at something behind me. Katrina, you have a bad habit of listening to other people's conversations. I turned around in time to see the cat stepping out of the shadows and heading towards us. It's not a bad habit, it's a talent. Stop using your talent on me. Come on, we need to talk. He turned his back and left. The cat followed after him, giving me a long and mysterious look. I sighed, feeling quite tired. Yeah, getting angry makes me tired. But seriously, that dude does need to get his shit together. After a busy day, I wasn't expecting discussion like this. I went straight to my tent and just wanted to get some sleep. And the next day, we had a problem at the lab. We had run out of samples and someone needed to collect more for us to continue our work. I didn't want to do this, but everyone else was busy, so I ended up with the task. I felt a bit hypocritical, not wanting to do the job. After all, I work with these samples all day in the lab. But one thing is to see them on slides and tubes, another is to collect them straight out of a body. Without them having much choice, I went to an area far away from the camp where they burn the bodies of the infected. That's where the researchers used to collect the samples. Reno was already... Oh, dang it, I did it again. Sorry. Obviously, I'm out of practice. Reno was already waiting for me when I arrived. I think he noticed that I was quite nervous. Are you okay? Yeah, just a little anxious, but I'll be fine. The place we need to go is a little further along that trail. We start to walk in silence for a few moments. I was trying not to think too much about the job I had to do. So I was relieved when Reno started talking and I could distract myself a little. Anna, I wanted to ask about that situation at the cities. Are people still getting sick very often? The cases decreased a bit. People who get sick are immediately isolated. In most cases, they die after a few days. I think very few get to the stage where they become violent. And as they are being watched all the time, it's easy to deal with the situation before they get out of control. They're not like the ones around here. I wonder how it's possible to have so many of them around. Master Kalian told me that they didn't do the evacuation process right. They should have given more time for people to get to the cities. But they were afraid to wait too long and close the gates earlier than they should have. Entire villages that were further away were left to fend for themselves. Those who didn't die from the disease became violent, have been wandering around all this time. We are paying for neglecting those people. It's so sad that things turned out this way. Do you have family in the city? Not anymore. It looked like he didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't insist. We were almost at the end of the trail and I could already see the bodies lined up. I quivered thinking about the job I had to do. Reno was staring at me and I tried to find some courage to do what I had to. I was also quite nervous the first time. Dang it! That's me. That's me. I know that's me. Sorry. Maybe I'll keep my hand. Maybe I'll start using the keyboard. Maybe that'll help. Sorry. I was also quite nervous the first time I saw one of them. When I heard about the infected that became violent, I imagined them in a different way. I thought they were deformed and horrible monsters. But when I came here and saw the first one that was put down by a soldier, I felt really bad. I looked at the bodies on the ground in front of me and immediately understood what he was saying. They didn't look like monsters. There was nothing different about them. They were just people. I couldn't help but imagine how the soldiers felt about this, raising their swords against the infected, who didn't seem to be anything but ordinary people. So I do like that we're actually getting out of the side of the tent now. We're actually getting to go out in the forest because, I mean, you know, that's why I picked this route to begin with, because I like forest. But I kind of want to see like some of the infected or something. I kind of want to see more, you know. Once again, it's doing this whole, it's just narrating what's happening. It's not actually showing us anything. So, once again, it's interesting, but I feel like it could do a little more showing. I had a horrible feeling of thinking about this. All of a sudden, I just felt like giving up everything. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to stay here anymore. Anna, you look pale. Are you sure you're feeling okay? I swear, this Reno kid is like the most responsible one in this entire vid so far. He's probably the youngest and also the most mature. That's the feeling I'm getting anyway. I think he might be my favorite character so far. Focus and do what needs to needs to be done. Do it for Reno, the poor kid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not feeling good about having to do this, but it needs to be done. I took a deep breath and built up the courage to get to work. We needed the samples to analyze and try to find out a cure. It was not a pleasant job, but it was really important. I organized my instruments and tried to focus on my task. Although I was still very nervous, the work became more tolerable as I convinced myself of its importance. You're very brave, Anna. No, I'm not. My hands are shaking so bad that I'm having a hard time here. That's why you're brave. You are nervous, but still do what needs to be done. Exactly. See, words of wisdom from the all-wise and knowing Reno. Reno. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, and I'm sorry. I'm bad at pronouncing names. With Reno encouraging me, I gave my best to complete the job. I felt grateful that he was there with me. I don't think I could have done it without someone by my side. Fortunately, I finished sooner than I thought and got enough samples to continue our research for the next few weeks. Thanks for staying here with me, Reno. This was definitely not an easy job. No need to thank me. Most of the jobs here aren't easy, but at least we can support each other. I smiled at him and we made our way back to camp. The satisfaction of completing this work gave me more motivation to face the next few days. Our routine continued the same way. I spent my days taking care of my work in the lab and rushed to help at the hospital when they were in trouble. I tried to stay optimistic, but it wasn't impossible to ignore that things were getting worse every day. With the infected becoming more violent, the soldiers were having a hard time. Each day, more of them showed up with serious injuries. We practically had no more space in the hospital, and several medicines were missing. I was alone in the lab one morning when Master Kalian showed up. He looked around a little confused. I think he expected to find more researchers there. Are you the only one here? Yes, the others in the hospital. Can I help with anything? Do you have any experience with alchemy? To make balms, painkillers, and stuff? Yes, I do. Great, come with me. I followed him, but realized I was actually really angry with him. She's still salty. We spent day after day in this hellish routine without him showing up even once to help. Where does he go when everything here is plunged into chaos? We passed to the hospital area and he went straight to where the medical supplies were stored. We're almost out of medicines. I've already asked the research centers to send more, but it seems the next cargo is delayed. We have used too much from our supplies these last few days. But we have some material to make more ourselves. What do you think we can do with this? I evaluated the materials available, but we didn't have much. I think we can do a few things with it, but I'm not sure if it will be enough. Maybe some painkillers and ointments to prevent infections. Anything helps. Can you start working on it today? Yes, I can. Great. Please let Reno know when you are done. I'll be gone for a few days. We'll be gone for a few days? With a situation like this, he'll just disappear again. I was starting to get fed up with his attitude. I mean, he seems like he seems like he's being pretty chill right now. I'm pretty sure she's the one that's having an attitude, but like I said, I'm sure he's doing something. He's got to be doing something. He doesn't strike me as the type that would just, go take a nap under a tree or something with the blood and stuff we saw all over his clothes and the scratches and stuff. He's definitely fighting something or doing something on the field. We're just not seeing what it is. But once again, he's not acting like a leader, though. I don't really like any of these options. Because once again, I don't think that it's not that he's running away. It's just, Once again, he's not delegating. He's not telling other people what they need to do, you know, managing things and whatnot. I guess I'll say this. Wouldn't it be better if you stayed here? I can't do anything staying here. I'm more useful elsewhere. Then put somebody else in charge, dude. Put somebody else in charge where they can manage things here. Where else can you be more useful than here? Why do you always do that? Every time we meet, you keep bothering me about what I do or don't do. He kept staring at me and was clearly angry. It's because when you're the one in charge, you're responsible for everything. Who else is she supposed to complain to? You're the one in charge, dude. Deal with it. Could you guys keep your voice down? We're in a hospital. We were both startled when she spoke. And I know it sounds like I'm getting agitated. I'm not. I'm just really into it. You know, I'm into it. I'm enjoying this. That's why I'm getting very vocal about it. Because, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. The dude there is kind of frustrating me a little bit. But, but it's interesting stuff. And I'm curious to see where it goes. So that's the only reason why I'm being so vocal about it. Trina is always stealthy, and I never notice when she walks into places. When I'm not interested in something, that's when I want to skip conversations, and I don't really care where it goes either way. This I'm definitely invested in seeing where it goes, because I want some character development here. I'm hoping that we're going to get that, but we'll see. Is it possible that I can't have a moment of peace here? It's really annoying to deal with you two. One doesn't stop pissing me off, and the other scares me to death by appearing out of nowhere. Do you want me to start announcing my presence to spare you the scare? Just say what you want. A message has arrived from one of the research centers. Oh, it must be about the supplies. Did they say when they can deliver the next cargo? Not exactly. What happened? They said it's no longer possible to produce and deliver supplies. They're too busy with the research to find the cure. Too busy to send supplies, is that what they said? Yes. Master Kalian stopped talking for a moment. He was clearly trying to hold back the anger he was feeling. Too busy. What a joke. The only reason they can sit in their asses in a chair and spend all day in a lab is because we are here. We are the reason they are safe so far. They can only do the damn research because we are here giving our blood and sweat to protect the cities. And now they just refuse to help us because they're too busy. What the hell are they thinking? He was trembling with rage, and I couldn't blame him for that. Try to calm down, Master. Only one of the centers refused to help. We still haven't received any answers from the others. Those idiots are all the same. They have no idea what we're going through here, and they don't even care. But they can't just refuse to help. Apparently, they already forgot about us. I mean, to be honest, this is kind of interesting because it's kind of what the leader guy is doing. He's not sticking around long enough in the tent to see how disorganized and chaotic things are because, once again, he's not doing what a leader should do and making sure everything's organized and working efficiently and people are in charge and, you know, enough people have supplies and staffs and all that. And if, once again, if you can't do that, then you delegate it to somebody who can. So things run more efficiently, you know. But anyway, they must be competing to see who finds the cure first. And they don't care if we die here. I mean, to be fair, if they find a cure, then you won't need to be here. So, yeah, there's that. Don't talk like that. There must be something we can do. Let's send another message and explain what we're going through. I've been sending messages for weeks. They're just ignoring us. Maybe they're having a hard time too. Yeah, probably. I highly doubt it. I mean, if there's so much infected, and if I'm still a little uncertain of what the infect. It sounds like some kind of zombie case. Like, I don't know where the infection's coming from. Maybe that's what they're trying to figure out. But it sounds like if so many people are becoming infected and violent and dying and whatnot, well, maybe there's just a people shortage, you know, and there's just people, and they don't have enough people to manage things and that's why it's like so chaotic and people are all overworked. And this is so relatable, man, especially after COVID. This must have been inspired by COVID, because this is very relatable. If you've, you know, worked somewhere where you were short staffed and overworked and stuff, this is, yeah, dang. It's interesting though. I like it. I really want to punch someone in the face right now. That won't help at all. No, it definitely won't. It would make me feel better. I feel that. He stared at the floor with nothing more to say. He looked incredibly tired and frustrated. As I said, only one of the sinners refused help. There is still hope that the others will keep sending supplies. He didn't answer to Katrina's comment, just kept staring at the floor. It was weird to see him like that. Most of the time I resented him for not being able to help, and I got the impression he didn't care about us. But after seeing him like this, I couldn't stop wondering what exactly he was going through. As soon as he realized I was staring, he smiled and approached me. I took a step back on impulse, but I realized he had one of the tent pillars right behind me. Oh gosh, here we go. So I swear, this guy is like 1 minute he's angry and now he's being Mr. Flirty again. He's like bipolar or something, I swear. Do you know what would make me feel better? Your company. If you're interested. Like, dude, we got bigger problems right here, right now. He was very close and kept smiling and waiting for an answer. I was very confused by this attitude. He looked sad and frustrated a second ago, and now he was flirting with me. Exactly. Maybe this is like his coping mechanism. Whenever he gets completely really frustrated, he just, you know, turns into Mr. Jerk. I'm gonna flirt with whatever woman is in sight. His attitude completely changed when he realized I was looking. I pushed him and walked away. I at least like that Anna is not taking his crap. Oh, sorry, I skipped that dialogue. I don't know. What did it say? What's your problem? This is very inappropriate, sir. You are her superior and you are hitting on her and, you know, blocking her path and whatnot. My problem, we're talking about a very situation and you think now is a good time to flirt? Exactly, Anna. At least it's self-aware, okay? Anytime is a good time to flirt. Nope. I'm still here. Take that into consideration if you don't decide to go ahead with this. Nobody will go ahead with anything. No need to be so mad, sweetie. Katrina can go out and give us some more privacy if you prefer. He was clearly trying to provoke me, and it was hard to contain my anger. Or we can go somewhere else. It's your choice. Why was he acting like that? I felt my nails cutting into my palms. I was so mad, I just wanted to punch him in the face. That's everybody's reaction. When you have a problem, just punch somebody in the face. It'll solve all your problems right there. Scream at him, punch him, scream at him. Alright, yeah. Let's just leave. We don't have to deal with this shit. I tried to control my anger. I wouldn't fall for his teasing. If you need to distract yourself so badly, find someone else, or take a cold shower. I won't help you with that. I turned around and left without saying anything else. Anna, wait, I didn't mean to. I started running as soon as I heard his voice. I didn't even want to look at him. I got as far away from the hospital as I could and walked around the camp for a long time trying to calm down. Why was he such a difficult person to deal with? It seems that every time he feels vulnerable, he acts like that, flirting and teasing. But it doesn't matter. The problems we have here are pretty serious. I don't have time to worry about him. I took a deep breath and we went back to the lab. Regardless of what happened, we still need more medicines. I had to start working on it as soon as possible. Fortunately, he wasn't there anymore when I arrived. I took the material we had available and focused on my job. But it was hard not to think about what happened. I decided to avoid him as much as possible. Luckily, he seemed to have left the camp for a few days, like he said he would. I spent my time making the medicines with the material we had, but I wasn't able to produce much. I knew we would use all this very quickly, and we still haven't received anything from the research centers. Thanks for helping with this, Anna. No need to thank me. It's a shame I couldn't make more. It's not much, but I'm glad we can count on it until we get more. Do you think we'll get more? I was worried when Katrina said one of the centers won't help anymore. That also makes me worry. But there is a center that sends us supplies regularly, even when we start asking for more. Although they're a bit delayed this time, I think we can count on them. Anyway, Master Kalian should be back soon, so we can discuss what to do about it. She's gonna get triggered again. Indeed, Master Kalian came back the other day. Look at her, she's just so salty. I saw when he arrived, but I was determined to ignore him. I tried to stay away from the hospital and help with chores at the camp to avoid meeting him. I was feeling kind of silly for running away like that, but I already had too many things to worry about. I didn't want to think about what happened or how I could deal with it. Unfortunately, my plan didn't work. He ended up finding me despite all my efforts to stay away. Are you running away from me? I mean, can you blame her? Why do you think? No, of course not. Don't say anything. Yeah, we'll say, what do you think? Obviously. I think you are angry and don't want to see me. Am I right? I think you're right. I'm busy. What do you want? I would like to apologize for what happened the last time we met. I was an idiot. Aw, okay. At least he's taking accountability. I'm sorry. Hopefully. I'm still a little skeptical that this is just another one of his tricks to, you know, flirt with us or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see. I wasn't expecting this. I know you're avoiding me, and I don't blame you for that. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to forgive me or say anything if you don't want to. I just want you to know that I'm sorry. He said that and just left without even waiting for an answer. I was relieved that he left because I didn't really know what to say to him. But I was surprised when I realized I would actually wish this conversation had lasted longer. Damn, what is happening to me? I was avoiding him for days, but now I want to spend more time with him. This place is definitely driving me crazy. Why all of a sudden? I mean, okay, granted, I do respect that he was taking accountability, but I don't know if I would necessarily want to spend more time with him because, you know, that was, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I tried to distract myself with work the next few days. I didn't meet Kalian anymore, and I didn't even know where he was, but apparently he had left the camp again. I couldn't understand him. Sometimes it was really difficult to deal with him, but in some occasions he seemed so different. I was trying to avoid thinking about him, but often my thoughts betrayed me, and I found myself wondering when he would come back. But I had other things to worry about. I was starting to feel the exhaustion from the busy days helping at the hospital and nights working in the lab. There were a few days when I felt like I was researching my limit and couldn't take it anymore. And the worst thing is that I couldn't see an end to all of this. Our job at the lab was just to analyze the collected samples and send them back to the research centers. But I had no idea what happens next, or how the researchers were going. I didn't know if they were close to finding a cure, or if they were at least making any progress. We didn't have any news, so we just continued our work without knowing when all this would end. Every night I finished my tasks and collapsed on my bed, exhausted. I thought I would do the same thing today. But when I was about to leave, I heard screams coming from the hospital, and I ran over there. Oh no! Please, somebody do something! Poor Reno. Help! Please, there has to be something you can do. As soon as I arrived, I saw Reno agitated and covered in blood. Reno, what happened? Are you hurt? Anna, please, come with me. You know a lot of things. You can definitely do something. He was in tears and desperate, but I realized the blood wasn't his. Reno, try to calm down and tell me what happened. Anna, you need to help him. You need to do something. Help who? What happened? He was trying to explain, but it was hard to understand with all his tears and sob. Katrina entered the tent silently and approached us. Reno, nobody can do anything now. Shut up. You don't know anything. Anna can help. Reno, please take a deep breath and explain to me what's going on. One of the soldiers. He was there. I found him at the edge of the forest. He was bleeding a lot, but I managed to get him to the camp. And then I ran to get help, but when I came back, he... Reno collapsed to the floor in a mess of tears and sobs, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, but I could imagine what happened. Katrina approached and leaned against him affectionately. There was nothing that could be done, Reno. He was already in a very bad shape when you found him. But I'm still curious about the talking cat thing. Are they ever going to explain that? Sorry, it's a little inappropriate this time. I hugged him and I let him cry all he needed to. We went through difficult days and tough situations, but this was the first time someone died. Reno was sobbing in my arms, and after a few minutes I also felt his tears rolling down my face. The next day they prepared a funeral with honors for the soldier who had died last night. He was a scout and was patrolling around the camp when he was attacked. I didn't get to see him, but the doctors who tried to save him said they haven't seen injuries like that so far. They couldn't tell if he was attacked by a single infected or a group of them, and it was quite disturbing to know that he was attacked even though he was so close to camp. Everyone's mood got even worse after that. It was bad enough having to deal with the lack of supplies and the number of injured soldiers that only increased. Now we also have to deal with the grief of losing a companion. I'm surprised this is the first death, because it seems like they're fighting like pretty much a war. There's usually a lot of casualties. So I'm surprised this was the first one, but it's still sad. It is sad, so. But the worst was seeing how much it affected Reno. He kept doing his chores, but I saw so much sadness in his eyes that it was hard to bear. Reno, how are you feeling today? Hi, Anna. I'm okay, I guess. You shouldn't be working. You need to cheer up. No, he doesn't know. I know this, means well, but we don't want to, make his feelings feel invalid. They're definitely valid. We'll ask if he wants to talk about it. I think that's the most supportive thing you can do. I don't know. I think I do, but I still don't really know how to put into words what I'm feeling. Take your time. I just want you to know I'm here to help with whatever you need. Thanks, Anna. I'll remember that. He kept silent for a moment before speaking again. I wonder if he could have been saved if I was faster. Reno, nothing that happened was your fault. I know, but I still feel bad when I think about it. Do you know what's worse? I try the best I can to help with everything here, but no matter how hard I try, it is always chaotic and messy. We've been in this hell for weeks and nothing gets better. I think Master Kalian must be disappointed in me. How can you say such a thing? Taking care of this place is not your responsibility, but you are doing a great job here. A great job? Look around. Does that look great to you? Reno, you can't feel guilty about the situation we're in. None of this is your fault. He took a long breath and shook his head. I need to take care of some things now. I'll talk to you later. It was heartbreaking to see him like this. I couldn't believe he felt guilty about what was happening in the field unit. Kalian was supposed to be taking care of everything, not Reno, and he was absent during all this. He's not supposed to be taking care of everything, but, Over the next few days, I traded sadness and grief for an uncontrollable rage of him. Oh, here we go again. He's in charge of this place. Why isn't he taking care of everything? I was fed up with this situation. I would definitely have a very serious conversation with him the next time we meet. Fortunately, it didn't take long for me to get the chance to say everything I wanted to Master Kalian. I found him walking around the camp at night when I was going to my tent. Like the last time we met, he was all dirty and looked tired, but I wasn't going to let the chance pass. Where the hell have you been all this time? Good night to you. Did you miss me? Oh, God. No, but Reno probably missed you. And everyone in the camp that are working with no direction and no organization because you are not here. We've had the worst week ever, and our supplies are almost gone. So could you please tell me what the hell you have been doing while we are dealing with all this mess? Damn, are we out of supplies again? He's completely clueless. Oh my gosh. How many injured soldiers have we had this week? You would know these things if you spent more time here at the camp. You were appointed master of this place. How can you just disappear and leave a boy doing all the work here? Are you by any chance my superior to yell at me like that? Tell me at once, how many injured soldiers have we had this week? Injured soldiers. He was worried about the number of wounded when someone actually died. I got so angry that I couldn't speak anymore. I mean, why don't you tell him? He obviously doesn't know. I got so angry that I couldn't speak anymore. I just felt my eyes filling up with tears. He noticed something wasn't right. Anna, what happened? I didn't answer, but I couldn't hold back my tears anymore. He came over and held my face with his hands. Please, tell me what happened. One of the scouts is dead, Master. What? I didn't even hear her approaching, but I was relieved that I didn't have to explain everything. Master Kalian froze with her words. Who? How? We don't know if he was attacked by a single infected or a group. It was too late when he managed to reach the camp. Reno found him. Reno. He kept holding me while Katrina explains what happened, and I noticed the color draining from his face when she mentioned Reno. I need to talk with the doctor who saw him. I need to know everything that happened. He wiped a tear from my face without saying anything and followed Katrina into the camp. He's nice when he wants to be. When he's actually taking things seriously and not trying to be Mr. Flirt. He can be nice. He can be sweet. I can see it. By this time, I'd forgotten all the anger I was feeling towards him and that he was left by sadness. I wasn't sure of what to do, so I ended up following them from a distance. They entered the hospital tent and I stayed outside. After a while, I saw Kalian leaving alone. It didn't take long for him to notice I was there. You can say it. Say what? You can say whatever you want to say to me. You can yell at me all you want. Good. You're an idiot for letting this happen. Yeah, yelling at you won't solve anything now. He looked at me and I felt my heart skip a beat when I realized how sad he was. I wanted to be angry with him, but it was clear how much he was suffering. Anna, He stopped what he was saying and looked away. I took a deep breath and tried to organize my thoughts. Why did you leave Reno to take care of everything by himself? He took a few moments before answering me. Reno shouldn't even be here. Look around. Do you think this is a place for a boy? No, I don't think so, but he's still here. When the field unit was formed, we had a hard time recruiting volunteers. No one wanted to leave the safety of the cities and come here to deal with the infected. Aside from the soldiers, some doctors and nurses, nobody else wanted to join us. But we didn't have enough people to start the operation. A camp of this size needs a lot of people. The site needs to be cleaned regularly, meals need to be prepared, tents need to be settled. We didn't even have half the people we needed. So they made a decree that allowed civilians to offer help. I didn't like the idea of having civilians in an operation like this, but we had no choice. And then people came to offer help. Just normal people who had lost their entire family to the disease, or those who wanted to make sure their children and loved ones would stay safe. And then Reno showed up. I was terrified when I saw someone so young wanting to join us. I did everything I could to stop him, but he was old enough to volunteer. He lost his mother to the disease, and apparently she was the only family he ever had. Aww, poor Reno. He put into his head that he would do everything he could to keep people safe. He arrived here, took a sword, and went to the forest to hunt the infected. You have no idea how much trouble this boy gave me. I had to accept him coming here, but in no way was I going to let him do something like that. It wasn't easy, but I managed to convince him that he would be more helpful in the camp than fighting the infected. I started by giving him simple tasks, but he was so committed that when I noticed he was already taking care of everything, I thought that was a good thing. The busier he was here, the less risk he would take. I should have paid more attention to him. But I was so focused on other things that I didn't notice how overwhelmed he was. You were right every time you got mad at me. I'm an idiot for letting things get to this point. He was avoiding looking at me then all the time. As he spoke, I realized I didn't blame him for doing what he did to make sure Reno was safe. But spend so much time neglecting him and letting Reno take on so many responsibilities was wrong. He is just a boy. But at the same time, what else could Kalian do? Oh damn, whenever I'm with him, it's this roller coaster of feelings. In some situations, I hated his attitudes with all my might. But in others, I didn't even know how to explain what I felt in those other situations. But about what happened to Reno? Yeah, he did what he could to protect him. Yeah, I see it. It's valid. I don't know if the choice he made was right or wrong, but I believe he tried to do the best he could. I've just started to understand a few things about him, and there's probably a lot more I don't know. He kept avoiding looking at me, but I could tell how shaken he was by all this. I walked over and put my hand on his shoulder. I believe you tried to do what you thought was best for Reno. But the situation here is very difficult. We won't be able to continue like this for a long time. Could you at least stay here and help us find a solution? He turned around suddenly and hugged me. That really surprised me, and I was speechless for a moment. I never thought something like this would happen. Everyone knew the risks, but I didn't want to believe it would get to the point where we lost someone. Actually, I never imagined we'd be here for so long. They should have found a damn cure by now. You're right. I don't know for how long we can hold on if it continues like this. He was hugging me tightly, as if he would collapse if he let me go. I thought he was making the right choices, but I'm not sure anymore. Anyway, I promise I'll do everything I can keep you guys safe, no matter the cost. He let go of me and smiled. I know this hasn't been easy, but I really appreciate everything you've done to help. Thank you for staying here and listening to me. This is a pretty bad day and it's late. You should go get some rest. He was right about that. I was feeling exhausted and overwhelmed by the events of the last few weeks. I need to take care of some things. And I also need to talk to Reno. He said goodbye and headed inside the camp. It felt good to be able to talk to him, but it didn't improve my physical and emotional exhaustion. I went to my tent to rest, but it felt like my brain wouldn't stop. I couldn't relax, and it took me a long time to fall asleep. I had a really hard time getting up the other day. I was feeling so drained, I think I could sleep for a whole week. The last few days had been intense, and it was hard to process everything. This was one of those days where I just wanted to give up and go back home. But I made an effort to get up and face the day. I went to the lab and found Rena and Katrina talking. Anna, I'm glad you're here. We're trying to solve a problem. Every day there is a problem to solve. Is everything okay? You look pretty tired. I'm not feeling very well today. I think it's just exhaustion from all the work we've been doing. It hasn't been easy lately. Do you need some time to rest? No, I'll be fine. Tell me what's going on here. Are you sure you don't need some time for yourself, to get your thoughts together? Katrina stared at me like she could read everything that was going through my mind. She was incredibly perceptive. I prefer to distract myself with work. I see. But if you need anything, let us know, okay? I'll let you know. Now tell me about the problem you were talking about. Our stocks of painkillers and anti-inflammatories are completely depleted. That's what we've been using the most of these last few days. Do you have any predictions of when we will receive more? Master Kalian has been constantly sending messages to the research centers, but all shipments are delayed. He contacted them again this morning, but I don't think any of them will make it on time. That is too bad. We have a tent full of seriously injured patients who can't do without these medicines. How can they delay something so important? How the hell can they leave us in such a difficult situation? Now you're talking like Master Kalian. Oh shit, I was definitely losing control. Anything was making me freak out. Katrina was right. I really needed some time for myself. Sorry about that. It's been hard to keep calm with everything that's going on. No need to apologize. We understand perfectly. Do we still have some material left? Maybe we can produce something while the shipment doesn't arrive. We talked to some researchers earlier and they checked the stocks, but there's a lot missing. We can't do anything with what we have now. There is no medicine and no raw materials to produce medicine. We're screwed. I don't know what to do. Or there has to be a solution. Let me think about it. Yeah. You can't give up. Can't give up. We got a job to do. People to save. Wait. Most of these remedies are made with medicinal plants that are not hard to find. We're near a forest. There must be something that we can collect and use. It won't be as effective as the medicine, but it's better than nothing. That's a great idea. I knew we could count on you, Anna. Oh, wait. There's a problem with that idea. It's definitely not safe to go into the forest, not after what happened. What do you mean? The scout who died was patrolling very close to the camp when he was attacked. The surrounding areas are no longer safe. I felt a chill run down my spine as I thought about it. Until now, I was never considered the possibility of our camp being attacked by the infected. Really? Never? Okay. That couldn't happen, could it? It's risky to go out, even if it's not too far. We have to think of something else. What if we... They continued talking about I was no longer paying attention to the conversation. A horrible feeling came over me as I considered the infected invading this place. Oh gosh. I suddenly couldn't think of anything but fear and a huge concern for our safety. I leaned on one of the benches and had to sit down because I couldn't stop shaking. It's like the weight of these weeks and our hardships hit me at once. I wasn't feeling good. Anna, what happened? I just need a minute. I left the lab to get some fresh air and try to calm down. I don't know for how long I can help them if I kept feeling like this. I started thinking about everything that happened and everything I've done since I got here. About the decisions I made and how I acted in each situation. The work here is not easy. That won't change. If I want to stay and help, I'll have to be willing to face these difficulties too. But am I in a position to help? The way I'm feeling right now, I will be of no help to anyone. After spending a lot of time thinking about what I was going to do, I went back to the lab where Rena and Katrina were discussing the problem with the medicines. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. I needed some time to think. Don't worry about it. Are you feeling better now? Yes, I'm a little better now. I think I have an idea of what we can do about the medicinal plants. Reno, do you remember where you took me to collect samples? That is a wide place with many trees around. I can have a good view of everything around me. I could go over there and see if I can find some plants that might be useful to us. Do you think that is a safe place, Reno? It is a better place than the forest, but it would still be dangerous. I don't think we really have any safe options, but this would be the best place to try to collect plants. In the worst case, if something gets close, I would see it and have a chance to run back to the protected area of the camp. I looked more confident than I actually felt as I told my plan, but I had decided to stay and do my best to help. I don't know. I don't like the idea of you going out there alone. We do this or risk leaving a tent full of wounded soldiers untreated. I don't like the idea of letting you go alone either, but not having anything to treat all these people also scares me. I understand the risks. I'm willing to give it a try. The two exchanged an apprehensive look, but ended up agreeing with my idea. Okay, then. Just promise you'll be very careful. Stay alert at the time, and if you notice anything weird, run back to camp. I promise. As soon as they left the lab, I rushed to organize the things I needed. In a few minutes, I had everything ready. I wanted to get this done as soon as possible. I took a deep breath as I left the camp and followed the same path I had taken with Rena when I went to collect samples. I tried not to think about what might be lurking in the forest and focused on observing the area to see if I could find any plants that could help us. Unfortunately, it wasn't as easy as I thought. It took a long time for me to find some herbs that could be useful. It wasn't much, and it wouldn't be nearly as effective as the medicines, but it was better than nothing and could make a lot of difference to relieve pain and fight infections until the real medicines arrived. But I soon realized that my plan to stay in an open space wasn't working out too well. I found more plants in the area with dense vegetation and gradually approached the paths that led into the forest. I followed the trails, collecting everything and carefully paying attention to any sound or movement around me. I was so focused on collecting as much as I could that I didn't notice the hours passing. When I got to the end of the trail and my bag was already full, I realized how much time I'd spent there. It was already quite dark and I started to get really nervous. Anyway, the only thing I could do was get back to the camp as soon as possible. My heart was racing as I hurried along the uneven trail, paying attention to everything around me. Until I noticed a few meters away from where I was. I froze right away. There was something coming towards the trail, blocking my way to camp. I knew I couldn't stay there, but I was so scared I just couldn't move. It was too late to run away. I could already see the silhouette of something coming out of the trail bushes beside the trail. Anna? What the hell are you doing out here? Kalian. I was so relieved to see him that I almost collapsed. You shouldn't be here. This area is quite dangerous. I know, but we needed... I stopped talking when I noticed all the blood. Kalian was badly injured and seemed to be having trouble even to walk. I ran to help him. Are you okay? What happened? Would you believe me if I said I tripped and fell? This is not the time for a joke. We needed to get back to the camp immediately. These wounds look pretty bad. I can't go back yet. I haven't finished what I came here to do. How do you expect to finish anything like this? You look awful. I put his arm around my shoulders to help him walk and started to follow the path back to camp. I was surprised I didn't hear him complaining. I noticed that he was having a hard time keeping up with me. His injuries must be worse than they looked. How did you get hurt like this? Why are you walking around here alone? Is it hurting too bad? All the above, I kind of want to ask it. I'll ask this one, I guess. I went out to get you flowers. Oh, here we go. He clearly chose to act like an idiot, so I gave up trying to get answers from him. It was a long way back, but luckily we made it to camp, and Reno rushed to help when he saw us. Kalian was taken to the hospital immediately, and I ran to help to the lab to see what could be done with the plants and herbs I collected. Other researchers came to help, and we worked non-stop making things that would be useful at the hospital. Everything we made was immediately taken to the hospital. I was exhausted when Reno entered the lab a few hours before dawn. Thank you for everything you've done, Anna. You have no idea how much it helped. I'm glad to hear that. How is he doing, Reno? Pretty hurt. But he is going to be okay. Seriously, Anna, I don't know what conditions he and other patients would be in if it wasn't for you bringing those herbs. At the very least, they'd go through one hell of a night feeling all pain all the time. You're amazing, Anna. I was completely burnt out, but knowing that all this effort was worth it made me feel very happy. Mr. Kalian is resting now, but you can go see him if you want. I hesitated at the idea of going to see him. I was quite tired, but I also had to admit that I didn't stop thinking about him for a minute during all this time. I was worried about him. I ended up going to the hospital to check on him. I walked over to where Reno told me he was. He was sleeping, but he looked fine. I sat on a chair next to his bed and I sighed and relieved. I'm glad nothing serious happened. Would you be sad if something bad happened to me? I got scared when I heard his voice. I thought he was sleeping, but he looked at me and was smiling. How are you feeling? I'll be fine. I'm just cold. Want to sleep with me and keep me warm? I rolled my eyes at the proposal and punched him in the shoulder. Ouch! I'm really hurt. Be nice. Could you please not be an idiot for just one day? I was really worried about you. Sorry. I promise I'll behave. Can you stay here for just a while? I will stay if you tell me what you're doing there alone. He sighed and leaned back against the pillows. I was hunting the infected. Hunting? Isn't that the soldier's job, just to stop them from passing through the area? Yes, that was the idea, but with the amount of them we found in the last few months, I started to get worried and decided to patrol a larger area. Anna, it's scary how many of them are roaming around. How is it possible to have so many of them? I think they did a pretty bad job when they evacuated the villages and cities. Thousands of people were unable to reach the safe points and were left behind. Those who didn't die from the disease have reached the violent stage and have been wandering around all this time. I started to spend days and then weeks traveling all over these areas trying to take down as many of them as I could. Because if a large group of infected decided to come our way, we won't be able to stop them. And there are thousands of them out there. Our job is just to protect the perimeter, but the truth is that we wouldn't last a single day if all the infected gathered here. That's why you disappeared for so long. But why are you doing this alone? I've been a soldier all my life. Killing the enemy is the only thing I know how to do. I'm not good at helping people like you and the others who are here, but at least I can make sure you're safe. Or at least I could. It's getting hard even for me to deal with them now. You could ask for help. You could ask the capitals to send more soldiers to help with this. I sent several messages to the capital, but I didn't get any answer. I don't know how I'm going to avoid this or solve this situation. Sometimes I just want to scream, but I want to look good in front of others. Things here are bad enough. What will happen to these people if they see me desperate? Sorry for always teasing you and being an idiot sometimes. I don't really know how to act when I'm nervous and scared, and I try to hide it as best I can. But the truth is that I've never been so terrified in my entire life. I think this was the first time I saw him being so honest, and was surprised when I saw tears in his eyes and did nothing to hide. I couldn't believe he was putting himself at risk like that for so long. Yeah, he's far more likable when he's being honest and sincere than... You could definitely tell, like, his flirting is just, like, some kind of defense mechanism, you know. Some kind of coping mechanism, but I like him much more when he's, you know, being his true self, you know. He's sweet. It's sweet. Cute. And I am starting to like his little bantering with Anna, though. It's nice. Oh, yeah, let's comfort him, I think. I walked over to wipe away a tear before I rolled it in his face. He didn't say anything, but he held my hand to keep it on his face for a few moments. I still can't believe that all this time you were putting yourself in danger to keep us safe. What did you think I was doing? Going for a walk? No, I was more worried about the things you didn't do here at the camp. I thought you didn't care. You should have told everyone what you were doing. How do I explain something like that without making everyone panic? I can't just say, look, there's a horde of infected out there, and if they decide to come this way, we're screwed. Things here are terrible enough. These people don't need more reasons to be scared. And I thought I could handle the problem myself. This truly is a serious problem. I think I should be terrified too, but with everything that happened, I think my brain wasn't working properly anymore. I think we should go to sleep tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. Are you sure you're okay? Are you in pain? No. Thanks to you, I'm fine. Thanks for coming to see me and everything you've done. Katrina told me you're collecting medicinal plants when you found me. Yes, we needed to do something while the medicines don't arrive. I'm glad it helped. It helped more than you can imagine. You must be very tired after all this. I am, but some sleep can fix that. I think I better go now or I'll end up falling asleep right here. Can I get a good night kiss? No. No. I called it. I could hear him laughing as I walked outside and was surprised when I realized I was smiling. I was extremely tired, but at the same time, pleased to know that all my efforts paid off. I slept soundly all night. In the morning, I was surprised to see that Kalian had already left the hospital and was giving orders in the camp. Master, you shouldn't be here. Your wounds still haven't healed. You need rest. Don't worry, Reno. I can handle this. No, you can't. You need to take care of yourself now. As soon as he saw me, Reno waved and walked towards me. Anna, Master Kalian is not doing what the doctor said. Get him back to the hospital immediately. Gonna have to tie him up to the bed. Stubborn as he is, I doubt he'll listen to me. What's going on here? Oh, Katrina. Master Kalian is not obeying the doctors. Do something. The cat watched the master for a moment and seemed amused to see him trying to organize things around the camp. I think he's fine. Fine. He's definitely not fine. He needs to rest and recover. As long as he stays here at the camp and doesn't run around and put himself in danger, he'll be fine. And we'll have a lot to keep him busy for the next few hours. We have visitors. Visitors? I just saw wagons with supplies approaching. I think our medicines have finally arrived. Who? I don't know. I think that was Katrina. Oops, sorry. I thought, whatever. That's great. Master Kalian will be happy to hear that. I'll tell him the news. I can't believe they finally sent out more supplies. It's a relief to know that at least this issue is solved. It took a while, but it finally arrived. It was good to know that at least we would have the medicines to treat the injured people, the injured properly. Master Kalian and Reno were coming towards us. They were probably going to get the supplies. I was a little confused when I looked at him. I thought he would be relieved to finally receive the supplies, but he seemed to be angry. I'm going to kill that idiot. Kalian, don't do anything stupid. He and Katrina made their way to the entrance of the camp when the wagons had stopped and a man dressed in white was giving instructions to unload the boxes. Oh, I was wondering if you were going to ever see the other guy. Cool. Look who decided to show up. I didn't think you'd come here in person after laying that last shipment. I had to come in person and check what's going on here. Why do you keep sending constant messages and making this absurd demands? The last shipment of medicine you ordered was enough to last for a month, but you used it all in a week. I can't snap my fingers and produce all this overnight. Ah, poor thing. The two got into an argument as the boxes with the meds were being unloaded. I think I should help with that, but I couldn't stop paying attention to those two. Reno was by my side, doing the same thing. What exactly is going on between those two? I'm pretty sure they don't like each other. The one who just arrived is Master Albion. He's in charge of one of the research centers that has been sending us supplies regularly. The two continued to argue. Master Kalian spoke in his usual sarcastic manner, but the other man seemed to be struggling to maintain a calm and civilized posture. I noticed that he didn't look very well, but he looked tired and kind of pale, as if he hadn't slept for several days. Apparently the research centers were also experiencing some difficulties. Should we do something? Let's go over there and end this. Or, no, just let them work it out themselves. I don't think it's any of our business, really. I don't know if there's anything we can do. Do you want to go over there and get into their argument? Definitely not. In the end, we didn't have to do anything. After a few minutes, Katrina got fed up with their argument and had to step in. She literally bit Master Kalian's ankle to make him stop talking. With the argument over, the two of them went to the hospital tent to try to talk properly, and Reno and I focused on helping with the supplies. We finished to unload everything quickly. All done. I can't believe we finally have supplies again. Should we go to the hospital and see if they need help organizing all this? It's a good idea. Let's go. As we approached the hospital tent, we found Master Kalian and Katrina leaving. You should have just let me punch him in the face. You can't punch the only person who is actually helping us. He's annoying. Stop throwing a tantrum, Kalian. There's no rational reason for you picking on him. Sometimes you behave worse than a child. I'll check on the security around the camp. Anna, do you want to come with me? I agreed to accompany him, and we started walking around the camp, checking out the patrol groups and security. He wasn't talking much, so I decided to start a conversation. What is Master Albion doing in the hospital? He's talking with the researchers and doctors to see how things are going here. I hate to admit it, but Katrina is right. He can help. He's much better at handling these things than I am. He might be able to get the capital to send us more supplies and soldiers. That's good news. It sure is. Then why are you so quiet? I asked you to walk with me because I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to know how you were doing. I know it's been pure chaos since you got here, and Katrina told me you weren't feeling well yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really hard to deal with everything that's going on. I thought I had reached my limit yesterday and seriously thought about giving up and going back home. But I decided to stay and keep helping. I can't say I'm doing great, but I'll find a way to deal with it. Do you regret choosing to join us? Of course not. Why are you asking me that? You're quite smart and kind. Probably the research centers would be a better place. No, I don't regret coming here. I'm glad I was able to help here, and also that I met all of you. Even me? Yes, even you. Besides, from the looks of Master Albion, the research centers are also having problems. I think the situation is complicated no matter where you are. I don't like him. I think it's because he reminds me of all the things I can't be. He's smart, calm, polite. I'm only good at fighting and killing things. Don't talk like that. You have other qualities. You're right. I'm way more handsome than he is, aren't I? No. No, you're not. Should we stroke his ego? Sure, why not? Ah, I knew you thought I was handsome. Confess that you love looking at me. The truth is, I've seen you staring at me several times. Are you going to deny it? She's blushing. No. Admit you have a crush on me. I wasn't staring because of your appearance. All the moments I was paying attention to you because you looked different. Different how? It wasn't this version of you that likes to tease and flirt all the time. It was more true and honest side of you. I think it is the part of you always try to hide behind all your teasing and flirting. The part of you that likes to sit quietly and watch the stars. The part of you that cares so much about others that you put your own life on the line to keep them safe. Because you'd rather hurt yourself than see others suffer. Why do you try so hard to hide it? Because it makes me feel vulnerable. And you think this is bad. Too bad if you're a soldier. Of all the things about me, why did you choose to like the ones I try to hide? Because it's the most honest and sweet part of you. Yeah. He didn't say anything else after that. We kept walking in silence through the camp until we get back to the hospital tent. We went inside the tent and headed to the lab where Master Albion was talking to Katrina. I thought we were going to have problems, but the situation here is way more complicated. Katrina told me the other centers are no longer sending supplies. That shouldn't happen, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. They can't just refuse to help, or can they? In theory, no, but the truth is that all research centers are funded with the money of the most important lords in the country, and they're desperate to see which one of them will find the cure first. Not because they're worried about people, but because they want to be the glory of the ones who saved everyone. I knew those idiots didn't give a damn about us. We've been a lot under pressure the last few months. We need the financial resources, but the only thing they do is get in the way of our work. They don't even allow us to share our research. They want to take credit for everything that is done. They have no idea how it all works, but they insist we do things their way and threaten to end the careers of those who oppose it. It's very typical of you to care more about your careers than about people. Take action. Face those idiot lords. It's all a very beautiful speech, Kalian, but things are not so simple. I don't care about them threatening my career, but what about people who have family who depend on them? One word from a lord can make these people's lives very difficult. One word, and they may never find jobs again. And who will take care of their families then? Who will provide them with food and shelter? Would you risk opposing a lord, knowing what it might cost the ones you love? It's a very complicated situation. Making the supplies for you takes a lot of our time, and I think that's why the lords might have forced the other centers to stop. And what will happen then? Have they forgotten the thousands of infected that could put everyone at risk if we are no longer here to hold them? They're not taking the problem seriously. No one has seen the violent infected the way you have. They don't know what they're capable of after all this time. I've warned them over and over again that we're in trouble here. I don't think this will be enough to convince them. The problem you are facing here is too far from the capital. They will continue to ignore it until they feel that this is a threat to them. How can they ignore something like this? You have no idea how many things they ignore. Anyway, I'll see what I can do to help. I'll get in touch with the capital and the other centers. You can't stay here like this. I'll try to send supplies more often too. Aren't you guys super busy searching for a cure? We are, but I'll do everything I can to help. Like you said, we won't be able to do anything if we have to deal with the horde of infected out there. I am kind of curious about Albion's route. I'm probably going to replay his route. I don't know if I'm going to record it. I might just do it in my own time so I don't have to read the voices out loud. But, yeah, I am curious about it. So I probably will play through it on my own. But how am I going to convince them of the real danger of the situation when they normally refuse to listen to anything? I'll think of a solution. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back as soon as possible. I'll walk you out of the camp. Yeah, he seems nice. Once again, he kind of seems like he genuinely wants to help, but he's a little more intelligent, a little more put together, I think, than Kalian. But I like them both. I think. From what I've seen, anyway. As soon as they left the tent, I exchanged a look with Katrina, and we both walked out silently after them. I feel a lot like Anna and me. I feel like we're on the same page, towards my feelings about Kalian, which is good. I mean, that's what you want. You want your readers to be able to connect with the main character. So but yeah, I feel the same. I like his sincerity more than I like the flirty version of it, because the flirty version feels very, fake. You can definitely tell it's not who he truly is. And I like that. It gives him depth. Very good characterization here. Very good growth, too. I appreciate that. Anyway, continuing on. If I have any success, I'll send Archie with the message as soon as possible. Thank you. Why didn't you tell me things were so bad? I said we needed more supplies. If you had explained the situation to me, I could have done something more before it got to this point. You have a terrible communication problem. No, I don't. I communicate very well. You are really bad at managing this place, Kalian. Oh, sure. You had to defend me one last time before you left. I mean, honestly, I kind of agree, Kalian. I mean, I like you all. I like you, dude, but you're terrible at being a leader. Because he tries to do everything himself. And I'm the same way. I like to do everything myself because that way I make sure it gets done and I make sure it gets done right. But it's not good for management potential. It's good for being your own boss and, doing things in your own time because you have good work ethic and you make sure that you meet deadlines and stuff. But it's not good if you're looking to get into management positions because if you're instead of delegating things, you're going to be tempted to do all the work yourself, and nothing's going to get done, and it's going to put too much pressure on yourself, and it's just not. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work for us, Kalian. So he's not trying to say you're a bad person and you're not good at other things. You're just not good at management. But you're incredibly competent when it comes to protecting people. Katrina told me what you've been doing. Honestly, I don't know how you're still alive. Just don't do any more crazy things until I send help. After saying that, Master Albion prepared to leave with the wagons that brought the supplies. When they started to move, Master Kalian yelled at him. I still think you're an arrogant idiot, but thanks for all the help. Such a child sometimes. But it's endearing. Master Albion just waved at him from a distance. Katrina made a weird noise beside me. It looks like he was holding back a laugh. Like I said, he's worse than a child sometimes. I couldn't hold a smile either. Katrina went looking for Reno, and I made my way to the lab to organize my daily tasks. Master Kalian came back after a few minutes. You're a terrible spy. I don't know what you're talking about. I noticed you following me since we left. Is it possible that you can't stay away from me even for a few minutes? Let's tease him back. Sure. I'm sorry I couldn't resist. After all that arguing and your insistence on accompanying him to the camp entrance, I was worried. How's that I think she needs to work on her flirting. I thought we were gonna flirt back. Worried why? Did you think I was going to punch him? No, I was jealous. I thought you might be secretly in love with Master Albion. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. I had to follow you to find out if there's something between you. Where did this idea come from? How can you even imagine such a thing? I couldn't stand it and burst out laughing. He continued talking about the absurdity of such a thing for quite some time while I laughed. Until he gave up and started laughing too. I'm going to have nightmares tonight because of this. But it looks like you're going to have sweet dreams imagining these things, you pervert. Yep. That's actually pretty accurate there, Kalian. He left the tent to take care of his job while I was still laughing. I couldn't even remember the last time I laughed like that. Yeah, see, that's what this needs. This needs a polyamorous route. Think about it. Think about it, developer. If you're listening, watching this, think about it. Just saying. We need more of that. The mood in the camp was improved a lot with the arrival of the supplies. It felt like we could finally have some hope after so many bad days. Master Kalian was still recovering and avoided leaving the camp. He organized the soldiers to protect the camp and set up groups to patrol the surrounding area. After a few days, we received a message from Master Albion saying that the capital would send reinforcements to help. For a moment, it looked like everything was going to be okay. But our joy didn't last long. During the night, after a long week of work, I woke up hearing screaming outside. When I looked out of my tent, I couldn't believe the horrible scene that was happening. What Master Kalian feared had finally happened. A huge group of infected had found our camp. The soldiers tried to hold them back as much as possible, but a large number of them had already entered and were attacking everyone they came across. See, it's like scenes like this, it would be more, it's reading like she's narrating the events that had already happened, and we're getting the information secondhand instead of seeing it. So it would be so like a cutscene here or something, just something to help set the mood. I mean, I'm sure there's probably music, maybe sound effects. I just have it turned down so low I can't hear it. But we need something here, though, to help show us what's happening rather than just Anna narrating it all. It's just not as interesting that way, in my opinion, anyway. I think that's my main complaint with this. I want more showing and a little less telling. But anyway, our camp has become a battleground within minutes. Amidst the chaos, I heard Master Kalian shouting orders to try to control the situation. Run to the north exit of the camp. Leave everything behind. Just keep going until you reach the nearest town. There are too many. Everyone needs to leave the camp. The writing is good, don't get me wrong, and I really invested in the story. I really like the characters in the story. It's just that, once again, the showing versus telling, that is the only thing I would probably critique. But we'll wait till the end and then I'll do a more thorough critique. As much as he screamed, most of the people there were in a panic and not listening to the instructions. Anna, I'm glad I found you. We're trying to organize people and get them out of the camp, but it's pure chaos here. Do you think it's safe to leave? Aren't we just going to find more infected out there? I don't know, but I'm sure things will be worse if we stay here. The plan is to leave the camp with as many people as possible. I'm trying to get everyone together, but it's hard. They're all so scared. No one is listening to what I say. I'll help. We both ran through the camp, gathering everyone we could and giving them instructions to go to the north exit. Most listened and did as we told, but others just ignored and ran past us in random directions. On the way, we found soldiers doing their best to protect the camp, but it was clear they couldn't hold out for long. What are you two still doing here? We must leave immediately. We're wanting people to leave, but we don't know how many are still in the camp. There's already a big group gathered at the exit. You should go there. I'll take the one last look around the campsite to make sure no one is left behind. Okay, we'll go over there and make sure they don't scatter until you get back. I'll leave Master Kalian to know we're ready to go. The three of us split up, and I went back to the place where I last saw Kalian. Luckily, he didn't leave that place. He was still there beside the soldiers trying to control the situations. Kalian! We gathered as many as we could. We're ready to go. Great. I just sent a group of soldiers to escort you to safety. You need to go as soon as possible. Wait, aren't you going? What are you planning to do? We'll buy you as much time as possible. Run to the nearest town. Let them know what's happening. Tell them that the field unit has fallen and that they need to prepare. And there are too many of them. There's no way you can face so many. We'll put down as many as we can and scatter the others so they don't follow you. But if you do this, I've been through worse. This is nothing. You can't stay. We can all get out of here together. He approached and hugged me tightly. I will not die. I'll take care of these idiots here, and then I'll yell at Albion for taking too long to send help. And then I'll take you to see the stars with me in the mountains. Aww. He held my face and kissed me. It was a quick kiss, but very intense. I couldn't think of anything else. I just wish I could stop at the time at that moment. Now you need to go. I'll find you as soon as I deal with this problem. I didn't want to leave him, but I couldn't do anything staying there. I went to the exit of the camp where Reno and Katrina were already leading the people towards the next town. It would be a tough travel, especially in the dark. Stay together and keep moving forward. It's going to be a long walk. People didn't need much encouragement to walk. Everyone was more than willing to stay as far away from the camp as possible. I was hoping that when we arrived in town and explained the situation, they could send help to Kalian and the soldiers left behind. But as I imagined, the walk was being difficult. The road was uneven, and often we passed close to areas with dense vegetation, which made our journey even harder. I started to get worried. Crossing these places seemed quite dangerous. Unfortunately, it didn't take long for my fears to come true. Soon we found a group of infected. The soldiers escorting us immediately started to fight, but it was a complete chaos. People got into despair as soon as they realized what was happening. Don't spread out. Try to stay together. Don't run into the woods. Some people had already separated from the group and were running around aimlessly through the night. We couldn't really see the area around us. We didn't know how many infected were attacking us and how many more could come. For a moment I thought that would be the end of us. I was sure I would die there. That's when I heard the sound of horses coming towards us. Could that be? It's the capital army. Master Albion did it. They came to help us. In a few seconds, the knights arrived and eliminated the infected around us. Reno hastily explained what happened, and they immediately went to the camp to help those who stayed there. With the sudden attack, our group was dispersed. It took a while for people to gather again and continue walking to a safe place. But Reno, Katrina, and I, along with some doctors and researchers, decided to go back to camp. With the army's help, the fight at the camp should be solved quickly. And there would probably be a lot of injured soldiers who would need some help. We made the way back, and it was already dawn when we arrived. The battle against the infected was over, and as expected, many soldiers were in need of medical care. We started helping right away. I went all over all the camp looking for the wounded and anyone who was in need of help, but I couldn't find Kalian. Don't worry, Anna. We'll find him. He wouldn't die so easily. Anna and Kalian are getting married, and then they're gonna adopt Reno. That's my prediction. That's my canon ending anyway, regardless of what happens. I tried to focus on helping the soldiers, but with every cry for help, I felt my heart racing. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Where could he be? Is he even alive? I was starting to get desperate when I entered the hospital and heard his voice. He was talking to an army officer. I spent hours thinking I'd find him injured or dead, but he was right there with some bruises, but perfectly fine. I didn't even care if the conversation he was having was important. I just ran and hugged him. Anna, I thought you were somewhere safe. What are you doing here? I couldn't answer. I just hugged him tighter and started crying. It's okay. I told you I wouldn't die. I don't know for how long I stayed there hugging him. I couldn't stop crying, but I was so happy to see him again. After what happened, and with the army officers reporting about the infected, the capital had no choice but to assemble a larger group to protect the cities. The field unit had been restructured, but this time with more resources and more people. We stayed in the camp offering help to the soldiers until everything was organized with new tents were set up. There was a lot of people in wagons with supplies arriving all the time. Anna, did you see the size of the tent they're putting up for the new hospital? I wish we had one like this from the start. Me too. What are you going to do now? Are you going to stay here or do you intend to go home? I'm not sure. I don't know if I can be helpful here right now, but I'm glad to see that the field unit will finally have all the professionals and supplies it needs. Are you planning to stay? I'll stay for a while. I want to learn more for the doctors here. I want to learn at least the basics, and maybe later I can study and become a real professional. Master Kalian introduced me to the acquaintance of his, and I think I will be able to become his apprentice. We're going to spend some time here, and then we're going back to the capital. I'm happy to hear that, Reno. I think you'll be amazing, Doctor. You have to promise to come visit me in the capital. Of course I will. Oh, that's cute, too. He's going to become a doctor to help people. I was very happy to see everything solved and know that the field unit would not go through so many difficulties from now on. We went through some really tough times, but it was quite an experience. I would definitely miss Reno. He'll miss you too. I should be used to Katrina's sudden appearances by now, but it was impossible not to get scared with her appearing out of nowhere. How do you do this? How do I appear out of nowhere? Or silently, how do I know what you're thinking? Both. The first one is pure feline talent. The second, I just pay a lot of attention to people. It's easy to understand humans after a while. Are you sure you can't read minds or anything? No, I don't have that power. She's just nosy. How are the new facilities, Katrina? Everything is going well. The officers are more competent than I imagined. I think they'll do a good job here. What are your plans, Anna? Do you intend to stay here and help? I still haven't decided what to do. What do you mean? We already have plans. What? We have plans that involve a cabin in the mountains and the starry sky. Have you forgotten? Oh. But what about the field unit? I am no longer the master here. Someone else will take care of the field unit now. I need some vacation. And you too. I didn't even dare to think that this could be real one day. That we could make plans and think of having a life beyond everything here. I confess I didn't want to accept his plan so easily, but I was happy to be able to spend time with him that I said yes immediately. Then I think I'll spend some time here and keep an eye on Reno. You probably don't want me with you on this vacation. Please take good care of him, Katrina. Oh, please take whatever. I got the voices mixed up, my bad. Of course I will. She said goodbye and headed inside the camp to find Reno. And when exactly are we going on this vacation? As soon as you pack your things. I wasted no time and rushed to organize everything. Before we left the camp, Katrina brought us a message from Master Albion. Ignoring the orders of the lords, the masters of the research centers came together and shared all the work they had done so far. Unfortunately, they had to face the consequences for disobedience. But thanks to that, they were able to make great progress with the researches. They haven't found a cure yet, but they managed to develop a serum that proved to be quite effective in preventing the death of some patients and considerably delaying the transition of the ones who became violent. There was still a lot to do, but we were finally making progress. I still want to be able to contribute in some way and have plans to go back to help as a volunteer. But for now, I was just thinking about enjoying our deserved vacation. Aww, that's cute. Cute. Thanks for playing. You're welcome. I enjoyed it. That was great. Awesome. Alright, let me get my thoughts together. It'll only be a second for you guys. And then I will do a little critique of this. Okay, so On the positive side, I think my favorite aspect are the layers of character depth and growth. It was definitely something I was hoping to see because I wasn't sure how I felt about the characters, specifically Anna and Kalian in the beginning, but the more I got to know them, the more I came to appreciate and enjoy them, as well as their dynamic. I enjoyed the friendly banter and the more light-hearted comedic moments to help balance all the drama and the more serious moments. Story, it does a good job of not being too over the top one way or the other, which I personally like to see. The situation the characters were in felt really relatable to me. I'm not sure if it was intentionally meant to be compared as a parallel to COVID, but I could certainly see the connection, as I was one of the ones who did work part-time during COVID, and we were always short-handed. What employees we did have were constantly calling out of work. Everyone was stressed and paranoid about getting sick. It was very chaotic. The situation resonated a lot with me in that regard. I like the art that was present. The character design, CGs, and backgrounds have a charming appeal to them, but I found myself wanting more. I don't really like to use that as a critique when I don't know the specific situation, but it did feel off to me, because there were a lot of scenes where it would have been more effective in terms of immersion had we been shown what was happening rather than Anna narrating it. It would have made us feel more like we're in the middle of the action rather than receiving all the information secondhand through Anna. And I should also add that you can, if you're willing to go the extra mile with your writing, you can show and not tell in your writing as well. I did a full writing workshop video about it. If you have difficulty understanding what I'm talking about or how to incorporate them better to your writing, I can give a quick example though. The infected were definitely a major element of this story. They're the center of the conflict, but I'm not entirely sure what an infected person looks like. The only thing we're really told about them is sometimes they die and sometimes they turn violent. And the researchers are searching for a way to cure it, which I'm assuming is going to be more of the main plot in Albion's route. But I still find myself wondering what they might look, sound, or smell like. Do they have red glowing eyes? Do they smell like rotten eggs, blood, or maybe something unexpected like flowers? Can they talk? Do they moan or growl? Now, granted, there might have been sound effects and I had them turned down too low to hear them. Regardless, my point is, even if you don't have the time, money, or motivation to draw things as a CG scene, you could still make use of the five senses to describe them more vividly, rather than just having Anna narrate what they are doing. There's a difference between telling a player what a character is doing versus allowing them to share in the experience. So even when you can't include details in the visuals and sounds, you can still do it just through the writing alone. So instead of saying the infected were attacking the campsite, for example, you could instead say, the stench of rotten decay filled the air as I stepped outside my tent. A horde of men and women with bluish skin and thick, matted gray hair shambled up the hill with twisted feet, their clothes torn into shredded strips smeared with grime and blood. One of them grabbed a medic from behind, but their victim dropped to the soft spring grass, rolling beyond their reach. A nurse emerged from the tent, bat in hand. She swung at one of the infected's head, their skull shattering with a loud crack. Some of the infected had missing limbs, loose leathery skin dangling from their bones, black elongated nails scraped against one of the nearby tents. The doctors attending their patients inside screamed as the shelves toppled over with the shattering of broken glass. Writing your narration this way will help you immerse your readers into the scene, making them feel like less like Anna is telling them a story and more like they're there in the moment, experiencing this nightmarish scene alongside Anna. It'll make the story feel more immersive and impactful when we can see exactly what is going on and how the characters are interacting with their environment, as well as each other. If not literally through sounds and visuals, then at least through more descriptive narration. But that's just my personal take. Maybe there are readers who prefer things to be kept vague and left to the reader's own interpretations. Regardless, I did enjoy it, and I am curious in seeing Albion's route as well, but like I said, I probably won't record myself playing it because reading it aloud and editing the videos takes more time. And I want to get through as many visuals novels as I can before I get busy working on my own projects again. But that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye!